This is your science class for today. Continuation of your chapter 2 electricity. We will see from page number 21 how you draw circuit diagrams. These are the symbols needed to draw a circuit diagram. The first symbol is the battery symbol. The longer line is the positive terminal and the shorter line is the negative terminal. The next symbol is the wire symbol. This wire helps you to connect electrical components to one another, usually insulated with a rubber covering for you to not get electric current. Next symbol is your bulb symbol, which is used for light source. This consists of a metal filament, glass bulb, metal casing and metal dip. Next symbol is the switch symbol. The first shows you open, the second shows you closed. This controls the flow of the electric current. These are all the electrical components which are shown as symbols, how they are represented in electric circuit diagram. Now, electric circuits can be closed or open. Electric current flows in the electric circuit and bulb lights up when they are closed. Here, electric conductors, metals such as copper, iron are used. Here, when electric circuits are open, there is no electric current that passes through the wire or the circuit, and here the bulb does not light up. Here, electric insulator is used: wood, glass, plastic, rubber, etc. This was your electric circuit diagram components and their symbols. Now you will see how you are going to draw a realistic diagram of the circuit. The electrical appliances you use at home have even more difficult circuits. Can you think of drawing electric circuits for your realistic purposes you use in the house? Try drawing it at home. Scientists have tried to make the job easier. They have adopted simple symbols for different components in the circuit. We can draw circuit diagrams using these symbols. Symbols for bulbs, cells, and switches are shown in the figure. In a cell, the longer line denotes the positive and the short line denotes the negative. I told you earlier. We shall use these symbols to show components of the circuits we draw. Such diagrams are called circuit diagrams. See, now types of electrical circuits. Your circuit can be in series or it can be in parallel. In the above experiment, we make a circuit with a bulb and a cell. We make only one kind of circuit with a cell and a bulb, but we can make many types of circuits if we have more number of bulbs and more number of cells connected in the circuit in different ways. One is series circuit. Here, two kinds of circuits can be made with two bulbs and a cell. In this experiment, we shall make one of them and study it. Look at the circuit with two bulbs and a cell and a switch given here in the figure. Look at the figure. You can see how one cell is connected to two bulbs. This can be represented in two ways. It is clear from the circuit diagram that the two bulbs are connected to one another, one after the other. In this sequence, the bulb does not get lit up equally as the other bulb. because the first bulb in the series gets more current compared to the second bulb in the series, or any other distractions may occur because of which the both bulbs have no same brightness. The brightness will be different, will appear in different for the same looking same kind of bulbs also. Sometimes bulb appear to be similar can differ from each other. So similar looking bulb do not always glow equally bright when connected in series. The circuit can be broken at several places. For example, between the cell and the bulb between the two bulbs. Now, in a parallel circuit, this is not the case. The bulbs are connected in different places. This is a second type of circuit. Two bulbs in this circuit are said to be connected in parallel, and such circuits are called parallel circuits. Now, if you compare the difference between the series and parallel circuits, you will see in the series circuit it is a single loop connection. Single wire is used to connect a circuit. But here in parallel it is connected by branches. Here in series circuit bulbs are dimmer, while as in parallel circuit bulbs are brighter. Here bulbs share power, but in parallel circuit each bulb fully gets powered. In series circuit all bulbs go out if one goes out. Here all bulbs stay lit if one goes out because it is not connected in a same line. They are connected parallelly, so bulbs can be lit up if one wire is not working, the other wire may work. Both have common is the energy source and the wires. Now, if an electrician attending an electrical fault at your home gets current shock, will you touch him in order to get rid of him from current risk? No, if you touch him, you will get electric shock, and that too with wet. You're not supposed to touch because current passes through water. Because current, water is a good conductor of current. Why do electric man are wearing rubber gloves in their hands while doing electrical works on an electrical pole? See, conductors are the materials where electrons are loosely packed. This allows current flow of electrons easily. The materials which allow current to pass through it easily are called conductors, and insulators are materials which do not allow current to pass through them. Here you can see the similarities between series and parallel circuit. Now you will see what are conductors and insulators. We know that all materials are made up of the basic building block, the atom. An atom in turn contains electrically charged particles. Many of these particles are fixed to the atoms, but in conductors such as all metals, there are a lot of particles that are not led to any particular atom but are free to wander around randomly in the metal. These are called free charge. Here you will see about conductors and insulators, how they are conducting electricity based on that property. These substances are classified into two types, that are conductors and insulators, which are bad conductors of electricity. Now, the electrons of different types of atoms have different degrees of freedom to move around. With some types of materials, such as metals, the outermost electrons in the atoms are loosely bound, and they move in the space between the atoms of that material, because these virtually unbound electrons that are free to leave their respective atoms and float around in the space between adjacent atoms. They are often called as free electrons. Electricity current, you will see this is the recap of the before covered topics. What all topics we covered before, these are the recaps of it. Electric current is the flow of electric charge, typically through wires, conductors, and electric devices. Current is equal to flow of charge. Next, you will see conventional current, electric current, how they flow in opposite directions. Positive to negative is conventional current, negative to positive is electric current. Then water current versus electric current. Water current is higher elevation at high end and lower elevation at low end. Here high voltage at high position and low voltage at low position when it flows from high to low. Here this is an open circuit where the switch is open. In the next diagram, open circuit. Because the switch is open, there will be no flow of current. While as when the switch is closed, it is a closed circuit. Then this is a series circuit where two bulbs are connected in a series, and here in the next diagram you will see parallel circuit where the bulbs are connected in parallel. Now, a really good conductor is one that has lots of free charges, while those who don't have enough free charges, they would not be conducting good current. That is, they are not good conductors. They are poor conductors of electricity. Conductors. What are conductors? Conductors are the materials whose atoms have electrons that are loosely bound and are free to move through the material. A material that is a good conductor gives very little resistance to the flow of charge electron on the application of external voltage. This flow of charge is what constitutes an electric current. A good conductor has high electrical conductivity in the above activity. Conductors offer less resistance to electrons. In general, more the free electrons, the better the material will conduct. Conductors are nothing but which have free electrons. You can see in that figure, conductors have free electrons that pass through easily and they flow freely. Insulators, their electrons do not pass freely. They are not loosely packed, they are tightly packed. Those materials which don't have enough free electrons are not good at conducting electricity. Or we can say that they would be poor conductors of electricity and they are called insulators. Insulators, see in the diagram, see in the figure, conductors, the atoms have electrons that are loosely bound and are free to move through the material. While you can see in the insulators figure, the atoms have electrons that are tightly bound and are not free to move through the material. This is the difference between conductors and insulators. An insulator gives a lot of resistance to the flow of charge during the drift of electrons in an object when an external voltage is applied. Because of this, collisions occur between the free electrons and the atoms of materials. This also affects the movement of charges. It clearly shows that insulators are not conductors of electricity. They do not connect current. They are poor conductors of electricity. Rubber is a non-conductor of electricity because rubber is an insulator. Most of the metals are good conductors of electricity, while most of the non-metals are poor conductors of electricity. This is your class for today. You will continue in the next class. Thank you, children.